This is my minimalist FX30 build. Now, I typically use this for different reasons, but mainly I use it for sports creation or videography. So when I'm doing like video highlights of basketball players or training videos or in-game footage, recording games, different things like that, I'm typically using this particular build. Let's go through the build. I'm gonna keep this video extremely simple and short. So primarily, this is powered by my KF Concept V-mount battery. Now this battery is awesome. I just started using V-mount batteries recently, and if you're new to V-mount batteries or new to building out rigs and things like that, this one is great. I used this yesterday for about 3.5 hours, or actually almost 3.5 hours of basketball training recording for a video that I'm working on, and I'll put B-roll up and stuff like that. But today I still have 67%, and I got there at about 97%. Because it wasn't completely full when I left the house. But I was able to use this rig consistently, this rig that you're looking at right here consistently for those 2.5 hours. So battery life is great on this. So that's the battery, V-mount battery, there it is. From there, I have a USB-C Condor Blue, the power delivery, and that goes directly into my camera, and that powers my camera with the D-tap on the other side coming directly from the V-mount battery. And then I have a USB-C, just a regular USB-C cable that I use to power my monitor, which is the DC-A1 by Viltrox. Now this monitor, I just recently did a video on this. This is a phenomenal monitor. It's 2800 nits, so it's great for outdoors. Even like when I'm using this for outside stuff like football and stuff like that, this works really well. It has this pop-out sunshade that comes with it. It is 7 inches. It's extremely bright and clear and crisp. I put B-roll up of it, and I really like it. This monitor is freaking sweet. I'm enjoying it a lot. Go watch a dedicated video on it if you have any questions on this. As far as the price to value, this is one of the tops on the market, and Viltrox continuously just knocks it out of the park with that. Moving on from there, this right here is a sliding V-mount that is through Newer, and I purchased this on Amazon. I think this was like 60 bucks on sale or something like that, but you can adjust the angle, all of that, however you want. It's a really nice V-mount attachment. There's even like quarter 20s and stuff like that where you can connect stuff on this side. If you wanted to extend this out and have something else on the inside, you can connect, you know, like a wireless transmitter or something like that on this side. There's even rubber to go up against like the camera if you have it really close and things like that. But all in all, I really enjoyed this. And what's nice about this is that this plate at the bottom of this fits on my Falcam F38 travel tripod, which, I mean, you'd be surprised that that thing can basically hold this entire rig. So I was using this yesterday, but I also use this on the tripod when I wanted to have real smooth pans and things like that while I was shooting, versus, you know, handheld footage is kind of, you know, and it gives you character and stuff like that, but sometimes you just need some really solid footage. And again, the nice thing about this is that this also allows this to go, it's hard to get on and off, but it also allows this to attach to my Falcam cage that I have here for my FX30. And we'll get to that in a second, but that slides directly on there with no issues. It fits, it doesn't cause any issues. It's solid connection. You can tighten it down. Everything's good there. Nothing's moving. From there, my microphone of choice is the Comica VM40. And the reason for that is this has built-in 32-bit float. I've done a dedicated video on this as well if you want to go check that out. But this has dedicated 32-bit float. It's also wireless, meaning that I can set up my receiver on this setup and then go put this somewhere else if I really needed to have it close or something like that. It's a shotgun microphone, and so what makes that good is that when I'm in a gym or something like that and I'm trying to get specific directional audio, this is able to do that. And because of the 32-bit float and internal recording, I can fix that sound in post if I need to edit it or anything like that. And I usually do that for like when I'm doing a highlight video, when it's sound effects, or if the coach is speaking, or if I'm in the huddle or something like that, this allows me to kind of get that real good dialogue, even in a very loud gym setting. And then the 32-bit float allows me to adjust that on the back end. So definitely recommend this. This is the VM40, but I have it on the VM30 mount because for this particular rig and handle, the mount that comes with the VM40 is too big, and I don't like the bottom of this mount. It always has problems sticking on the cold shoe mounts or hot shoe mounts, so I use the older mount, even though this is the VM40. From there, we have the top handle that comes along. This is a kit, so this rig or this camera cage by Falcam is really nice. It's a kit that comes with this handle. And I think it came with some other, like a little grommet or something like that to hold wires and manage wires and things like that. I think it's on this side. I didn't put that on there. I don't know why I didn't put that on there. I should use that. But anyway, this attaches directly to the side of the FX30 and on both sides, and then it's at the bottom. So this is one of the most stable cages that I've ever used because of the benefits of the build of the FX30 and how it has those in-body areas to attach things. This makes this cage extremely solid and feels like it's part of the camera itself. And so even if I go down to like this minimal setup right here, like this just feels amazing. And this handle is a quick release F22 because they have the F22 parts at the top where you can attach F22 attachments and accessories to all sides of the cage there. And so if you needed to attach other things like handles and grips and stuff like that, you could. But I try to keep my setups as light as possible because I do like hand holding for basketball versus trying to do like something with a big shoulder rig or grip or something like that. Like I'm not doing that type of broadcast level stuff. And so I need to be as quick and efficient as possible. This cage is phenomenal. I can't take it off like I've taken everything else off, so because of the way it's attached, but it's extremely lightweight. And from there, it has the F22 and F38 plate at the bottom, so I can use this with either my tripod light or my tripod tree root F38. So either one of them works perfectly fine. From there, the lens of choice that I use for basketball is my it's my 70-200 f4 macro, and it's because it's smaller and lighter and it's cheaper. Like, let's be honest, I would have got the 2.8 version if I could afford it at the time that I purchased this, but this one, and because you do need that extra stop of light sometimes in gyms depending on what type of gym environment you're in, but at the same time this is smaller and it's easy to pack in a bag, and I can sit my camera and my my camera and this attached down in either my sling, my Peter McKinnon 8-liter bag, nomadic bag, or when I'm using my brevity bag, whatever, I can put it down in there without having to take the lens off. It just makes things, a lot faster to get up and going. And this just gives you amazing footage. This lens is underrated because it's an f4, but usually, you really don't need anything more than this unless you're in one of those dark gyms. But dual-based ISO on the FX30 kind of manages any issues that you have. And honestly, sometimes I keep a filter on there as well just to give the footage like that kind of, you get what I'm saying, like add some character to the footage versus the clinical look of the Sony lenses. So that's the lens of choice. And then, of course, I'm working with my FX30 body, and that because it gives me the 4K 60, 4K 120, so I can do speed ramps and things like that when creating those highlights and the game footage and stuff like that. And also because it was cheaper. Like, let's be honest, like I paid for this with my own money, and so I would have got the FX3 if I could afford it at the time. Could not, so I ended up with the FX30, and I'm loving it. The Super 35 sensor is underrated. I know there's been a big push to the full frame, but you still get a lovely depth of field and things like that with a Super 35 in 2025 with some of these sensors and these cameras that they have. So that's my quick video on my quick run and shoot, run and gun type sports rig that I'm using. And I'm also working on my current Pixis 6K rig. And being thorough, there's also other lenses that I use with this kit. I'm gonna be trying out this, which is my new cinema lens from Suri. I paid for this with my own money, but this is the multiple mount. It currently has the E mount on there, so I'm gonna be trying this out with that rig as well, just to see like how it works with manual focus. So that is the kit. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions about this setup, or any questions about the Pixis setup also that I'm using. I'm going to be doing more of these type of videos just to share kind of what I'm using, and I'm working on a video discussing my camera journey, kind of what I use from the start of my YouTube channel till today, because that has changed over the years, and I think it's a good journey to discuss because I actually started with a very humble, well, I guess not at the time, but I started with a Fuji X-T3, and over the years my, I guess, abilities and skills and my interest have changed, and so from there I now have pretty good cameras and high-end stuff, but you don't have to start there. And so if you're interested in learning more about kind of that journey and the kind of gear that I've used over time, and kind of if you have questions about what maybe you should get to start with your scenario, let's have some in-depth conversations in the comment section below. Now, I'm not like I guess a professional, right? Like I haven't done video shoot or movie shoots and commercials, and so I'm not doing any of the commercial type opportunities, but I have a lot of experience kind of in the run and shoot and the small mom and pop type environments, and I've enjoyed using my gear offset of like my YouTube stuff, and I'm starting to get more and more involved in those type of environments. And so let me know any questions you may have. I just want to do a quick build real quick so you can see how easy it is to put this setup together, and you can be in and out the door and on to making money in a matter of minutes with this setup. But yeah, that's my setup. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, stay cozy in that crazy world, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.